In this tutorial, we're going to learn how to create a pop art image using digital technology tricks. First of all, you're going to need to find an image of the person, object, famous painting, celebrity that you're going to want to create your pop art image with. Then you're going to go to a website called photopea.com. Once you're at Photopea, you're going to go to File, and then you're going to click New. When you're in this part of the program, you're going to be able to choose a bunch of basic default kind of templates. We're not going to worry about that. What we want to do over here is where it says name. I want you to type in your last name and then pop art. So you're going to put your name, and then right below it, you're going to decide what size canvas you're going to want to use. Where it says PX, there's a little drop-down menu. We want to change this to inches. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that where it says PX, you click it and then you click inches. I'm going to change mine so that it is 10 by 10 inches. It says 10 inches here, and then there's a 10 below it. The DPI, we're going to keep at 72, and the background we're going to keep as white, and we're going to hit create. What you should see here is a white square, and this is where we're going to be putting in our image that we're going to turn into a piece of pop art. We're going to go to File again, and you're going to go to Open and Place. From here, you're going to pick your image that you are going to be making a pop art digital print. All right, so if you were to take your toolbar here and click the Move tool or the Selection tool, so you can see here it says Move tool, you're going to be able to move this picture around your canvas. I want you to look over to the right, and over here you're going to see that there is a Layers palette. This means anytime you make an edit on one of your layers of your image, you are going to be able to click which layer you want it to be on. So right now you're seeing me select between the two layers. When I select between the two layers, there's going to be these little white or kind of see-through boxes around the layer or the object that is selected. If I click background, you're going to see that those little boxes jump to the white box. If I click where it says Screen 3, that's going to go to the actual image. All right, so you may want to stretch your image or grow your image so that it fits into the white box the way you want it to fit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that this layer is highlighted, and I'm going to stretch my image. One of the things that you need to be careful about is when you stretch your image, that you stretch it so that it moves the same height and the same width, same ratio. So if you don't do that, this is what's going to happen. You're going to stretch it and it's going to look funny. Make it so that it moves evenly. You're going to go to the corner. You should be able to see that the corner has a double arrow. Once you have the double arrow, you're going to press the Shift key and hold the Shift key down. Okay, so we're going to go there, and you're going to stretch it. If you have extra white over here and you don't want it to be in your final, we can crop that out later. If you wanted to continue to stretch your image so that it fills the whole page, you can do that as well. All right. Now what we're going to do is we have to rasterize our background. That's a digital kind of trick that'll make coloring your picture a little easier. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here to our Layers palette, right click on the picture, so that picture layer, and you should be able to click Rasterize. Okay, so right here, Rasterize. If it's unable to be clicked, so I'm going to show you what that looks like right here. If it can't be clicked, okay, it's grayed out, it's unavailable. You're going to go up here to where it says Convert to Smart Object. Click that, right click again, and you should be able to rasterize your picture. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go up here to where it says layer. In our layers menu, there is an option here where it says new adjustment layer. You're going to scroll down to where it says threshold. And now you've changed your image to be a high contrast, black or white only image. There's no grays. When you do that, you get this little slider bar that allows you to adjust how much black or how much white is in the picture. Every image that you use the threshold tool with, or the adjustment, is going to be different. You don't have a perfect number, so you're just going to have to play around and see what you like for your image. The purpose of this is to give enough black so that it's got some nice cool edges, kind of like a coloring book, but then also enough white so that we can add color to it. So I'm going to put my threshold to like right about here. I like how the bridge looks. I like that you can see the outline of the face here. You can still see the people. Unfortunately, I do lose some of my sky. I'm going to show you a tool that will allow you to put some of that sky back into the picture. To close this little pop-up box, you're going to hit Properties, that little pro, and it goes away. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go over here to our toolbar. Some of you might find this helpful. Some of you might not need it. When you go to your little toolbar over here, you're going to see an option right above the type tool or the text tool, and it's called the dodge tool. It kind of looks like a little lollipop. If you click that tool and you hold it down, you're going to get 3 new options. The dodge tool makes images lighter. The burn tool makes images darker. I'm going to use the burn tool. Now it looks like a little glove. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to burn in the sky. To do this, I'm going to need to make my paintbrush size for the burn tool a little bit bigger. So this is the toolbar to change the size of your paintbrush. So you can kind of hover over your picture and see how big it is. All right, so there we go. This slider is going to let you have either a crisp edge. When it's at 100%, it's a very crisp edge. If it's lower, it's going to be a blurry or a soft edge. So I'm going to keep mine kind of at about, let's say, go with 60. Okay. You can choose anything you want, and my best kind of suggestion for you is to just play around with it. If you don't like what you did, you can always go to Edit, Undo. All right, so now I'm on the burn tool. Okay, so I did that burn tool. I played around here with the size, and now I'm going to try to burn. But if you notice, when I click, it says this layer cannot be edited. That's weird. Oh, that's right. I need to go over here. You're going to need to go to your layers where the image is and click the colored picture. Now you can darken in some of those extra lines. If it's too dark, like it's going too contrasty, you can change the exposure. So I'm going to undo what I just did. Backward. And I'm going to show you if I want to change how dark I'm making those lines, I can exchange the exposure. And now it's not going to make those darks go in as fast or as heavy. If I change it to my highlights, so there's a little toolbar here, I can change my highlights. This means it's only going to go after the light values. If I change it to my shadows, it's only going to go after the shadows. Now you can see how dark that goes. Remember, if you don't like it, edit, step backwards, or Control V. All right, so I've darkened in the sky. Now I'm going to add a little bit to the guy's face. So I'm on my burn tool. I'm in my shadows, and I'm just going to kind of click. I'm going to go back to my midtones. I'm going to check my highlights, see if that does anything. And I kind of can see the face popping out a little bit. So I want to make it look like the painting as much as possible, and yet give myself enough white area to color in. All right, so I've just used the burn tool to darken in some of the areas. If I needed to lighten areas, the dodge tool would be my best bet. I'm going to make that slider up a little bit, and I can lighten areas. You can see I can get some of that white area back so I have more to color in. That's the burn and dodge. Remember, you need to be on the colored layer for that. All right, so back to our pop art. We have our image how we want it. We have enough darks and enough lights. We're going to go to our threshold layer, and you are going to right-click the threshold layer, and you're going to click Clipping Mask. That's a very important step to click. You need to make sure then you go to the next layer, the screen, that colored image. So wherever your colored picture is, and you're going to go to the drop-down menu in your layers palette, and you're going to click Linear Burn. You might need to scroll through here to find it. It's one of the top options, but it's called Linear Burn. Click Linear Burn. Now you're going to go to your background layer, and you're going to click New Layer. You should see a layer pop up between the background white square and that colored image, whichever is your original picture. This is the layer you're going to be coloring. In order to color, you need to go back over here to your menu option, and you're going to see that there's a brush tool, a pencil tool, and a color replacement tool. You want your brush tool. Down here, you have a color picker or your color swatches. You are going to be able to use the slider and this navigation box to pick the color you want for your pop art picture. This top box shows you the color that you've selected, and once you have the color selected, you hit OK. You will notice that it changes the color down here. Photo Key allows you to have two colors selected at one time. It does hold on to your last kind of selected colors though, so you have some options up here where it'll like kind of remember your choices. All right, now you're going to color. So you're going to use that paintbrush tool to color in sections of your painting or your image. If you want to change the opacity, so that's how dark the color is, you can change that here. If you want to change the size of your paintbrush, again, that's up here. If you want to change the kind of the blurriness or the softness of the brush, you can lower that, and you can see how now it looks more airbrushed. It's a softer edge. Okay. This is going to give you the opportunity to color any area that is white. So you can go in and color it any way you want. If you don't like it, go to the eraser tool. The eraser tool is two tools below the paintbrush tool. Right, so there's the eraser tool, and then you can erase anything you put on. Because you are coloring on a layer that is not one of the original image layers, you can erase without it affecting that black and white kind of coloring book page. So you can erase whatever you need. As you continue to color this in, you are going to use a variety of colors. So find a wide array of all the colors. Use the slider tool and color in all of the sections of white so that you will end up with a final image that has a background colored, that has all the white spots colored, and that it has a lot of pop. Okay, we're making pop art, so we want to make sure that the colors are bright and that they really stand out. All right, have fun. Pause the video where you need to. Make sure you have each step kind of selected. If when you try to color, it doesn't show up as a color and it's as a black, like it just looks like black paintbrush all over, you probably need to go over here to your threshold layer, right click, and make sure your clipping mask has been selected. If that's selected and it's still not working, make sure you go to your image layer with your picture, and you're going to want to make sure that that is a linear burn. If that's not a linear burn, you won't see any color. All right, have fun and make some great pop art.